She's got the giggle, South Africa.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on SABC3. JP Sebastian obviously bringing us movies and laughs, and we're about to take a look at some of those movies releasing
Don't put the blame on me. You're going to recreate for South Africa now the quote that you did from the movie White Chicks. What was it, Zoe? Please, it was amazing, like Oscar glory.
There was this one character that does the scene about Tina, the talking tummy, and like back fat baby. Okay, but let's not get into that. Let's focus on Tom and Jerry.
There's something blowing out of the ventilator. Unfortunately, it's not COVID, but it's making us trippy. Tom and Jerry. I don't need to describe that to anyone, do I?
Oh, listen, my favorites growing up, it's something my dad's got a weakness for, so I really hope he knows that there's now a movie coming out.
And I don't know how you feel about it being one of these live-action blends, like with Space Jam, where you have the real people and the characters.
Oh, I like that.
We'll see if it works. I haven't seen it myself, but no, Tom and Jerry is hilarious fun. And wow, what I love so much about it is, like, compared to Sylvester and Tweety, the bird always gets away, but Tom, like Jerry, gets his own. Like, he gets a hammer to the head now and then, and in this case...
How cute.
Oh, so what you're about to see here is they're going to the big city, they're parting ways, and they're quite amicable about it. And what Tom is going to be doing in the big city is finding himself a job at the very hotel that Jerry decides to take up residence. However, shenanigans ensue, as usual.
It always happens that way.
So Tom goes to the city, ends up being a security cat at a hotel where Jerry has become a nuisance, and so they find each other again, but on terms that will make both of them pretty unhappy with each other all over again. So, back to the old ways. Rob Delaney, who is a hilarious comedian, Chloe Grace Moretz, who obviously is an actress, not necessarily known for comedy, but she's very good for her age.
I like her quirkiness. There's something cute about her as an actress that I really like.
She's game for anything, and I think that's a good start. So, like, whether it's action all the way from, like, what was it, Sucker Punch, or I can't remember what it was, but it's great that she does all these sort of different things. Nevertheless, what you see from the trailer is, like, it's a bunch of repeat gags, so stuff that you did grow up with, like, you know, the one where, like, Jerry walks through Tom's eyes after he's knocked out, or pulling the mouse hole away at the last moment, breaking physics and all that kind of stuff. Even this scene, so, like, there's a lot, it's not necessarily plagiarization, but, like, you wonder, well, did the writers try anything new? Did they try and modernize it? Maybe you don't have to. We'll find out for ourselves.
If you grew up watching Tom and Jerry, like, every episode had similar nuances every single time. So this is just an extension of that.
And there must be a Tom and Jerry-ness to it. Yes, you're right. But hopefully it hits the spot for some people. I don't know if I'll be rushing out to see it, but I did grow up on it too, and it was so adorable.
For the whole family.
Yeah.
So
Tom and Jerry. The kids deserve to let their hair down once in a while too. Tom and Jerry comes out today in South Africa.
And then obviously Graham spoke to Nomzamo Mbata earlier about coming to America, which is also coming to our big screens and to TV in South Africa.
The word you used, nostalgia, because obviously this is the sequel to Coming to America 1, which also starred Arsenio Hall and, most importantly, Eddie Murphy as Prince Hakeem. Back then, in the old one, they went to America and were sort of like fish out of water there. He's this sort of multi-billionaire prince, and he's got average Americans to deal with and trying to figure out what American life is all about. In this one, the tables are turned, and so the Americans come to this fictitious African country called Zamunda, which... I don't know why we need to have zebras walking around in a drive-through, but maybe that's the comedy, I suppose. Anyway, he finds that he's got a son all the way over in America. Once he was under the influence of a narcotic against his will, he had romantic sort of a romantic encounter with Leslie Jones, who steals a bit of the show in this, it seems. She's from Saturday Night Live, people might remember her from. And he has this 30-year-old son who's going to be heir to the throne once he takes him back to this fictitious African country. There, you find that, again, the tables are turned, that he is not the weird fish out of water, but obviously the Americans are. So Leslie Jones goes wild as all heck, acts like a cliche American tourist, and sort of gets on with the royalty, who are all snooty and, you know, stiff upper lip type thing. Again, all up in their nerves and up in their irritations and frustrations. I don't know what JP's saying, but nevertheless, you know the movie, you know the nostalgia. You loved it when you were a kid, and maybe you'll love this one too. Coming out in SA today.
Oh, exciting stuff. And speaking of the movie coming to America, coming to your screens right now is Graham and the one and only Nomzamo Mbata.